Okay, hey guys. Of course, you know I'm a 22 lover. I mean, I've been shooting 22s all my life. So I wanted to show you this cool gun. I've had this since probably a teenager, so that makes it getting on up there. This is a Marlin 39A golden trigger with micro groove barreling. So they had that 50 years ago. And lever action, it actually has a little extender on the hammer so that you can let it off easy. And of course, you unscrew this, you can break it apart, and so you can get in there and clean it or unjam it or whatever, which you have to do more often than that, you know, because it'll want to jam on you. But somewhere along the way, I filed the trigger a little bit to give it a better trigger pull, so it's got a pretty light trigger on it. Within the safe range, it's tubular magazine, which I really like personally. Holds, I think, 18 long rifles. It'll also shoot shorts, which is mostly what I used to shoot a long time ago. And so it's very, very accurate, which is the cool part about old cheap Marlin. I don't know how they are today, but extremely accurate gun, and especially for a lever action. And it's pretty quick to operate. It's got the gold trigger. That was the big thing with Marlin. It's the 39A with the golden trigger. And it's still got a little bit on there. So it's not an expensive gun. It's but a very practical, very accurate gun. And so when I got in my stock refinishing days, of course this came as just old ugly stock, and it's nothing great now, but I stripped all this down and I did the checkering on it. So as you can see, and this is not one of my best jobs, but everything's a learning process. And so I did that, and then I put a poly finish on it and shined it down to a mirror finish. Nowadays, the style is kind of an oil finish look, but this is real durable finish. And so this is actually the gun. I went from this to a Marlin bolt action 22, which we'll show you that somewhere along the way. And so I passed this one down to Anna. And so basically when she was 12 years old, 10, 12, we would go squirrel hunting with this. And my bolt action, she had this one, which I probably did that backwards. But the bolt action was a little more accurate, so I had a better chance of beating her, because we had big squirrel competition. And we had a point system all worked out, and of course, I'm all about shooting them in the head so you don't ruin the meat. And that's how I taught her. And so you got points for a neck shot, points for a head shot, deduct if you got anywhere behind the neck. And if you ever pop their eyes out, had them bulging, that was a lot of points. So we'd have big competitions. And she learned how to shoot squirrels in the head with this gun. And so her first squirrel, which we did mount, by the way, is a fox squirrel. And I think she was probably 10. And we were going through the woods, and a fox squirrel pops out behind a tree about 10 feet away. And I guess God just made that little squirrel sit there. And so I'm sitting there, she can't hold it up, so I'm holding it for her, and I'm trying to point the gun in the direction of the squirrel and like, hurry up, get it. And she probably couldn't even see it, and pulls the trigger and kills the squirrel. So that was a proud moment. This particular gun has been carried all over the US and Canada, and is a producing gun. So it's a meat getter, a critter getter. It's just a wonderful, wonderful gun. Now, a lot of people probably don't know about using a hammer, okay? So a hammer, that is called half cock. So you put that, when you put it on that, it takes it off the firing pin, but it won't fire. And if you were to drop it, it wouldn't possibly make the firing pin go off. And of course that's cocked. And so if you want to put the hammer back down without firing, you have to learn how to pull this back, squeeze the trigger, and gently let this up. And so that seemed to be a hard concept for Anna. And so we had a big time rule with this gun: never ever point this towards me, ever. And that's a general rule, but this was especially the rule because at least twice I'd be walking along, all of a sudden, and then it goes shooting off into the sky. It's like, what? So, it's good to learn how to use a hammer. Now, one other quick little story. This is a Tell Anna Secrets Day. So, we came down here, you see the lake, and we came down here to shoot stuff out of the lake. And so the plan was we pull up, I go to the front, she goes to the back and rest off the bed of the truck. So I start shooting away and she's trying to find it or whatever. I don't know what she's doing. Finally, I hear a shot and it's like, boom. And I'm like, what was that? I didn't shoot the truck, Daddy. I didn't shoot the truck. And so I go back there and start looking around, and this had the little plastic red thing over the top of the bed. I see one little hole in that plastic, and I feel up under there, and sure enough, it's bulged out. Now, you couldn't see it, so it wasn't too big a deal. But whenever you're shooting something, and you got to keep in mind where your barrel is versus your sight picture. And so she was seeing over the truck, but the barrel was pointed at the truck, which led to the boom noise and a hole in my truck. Thankfully, it didn't go through. So we still like to laugh about that to this day, or I like to laugh about it, and I hope you do too. Well, that's about it on the old Marlin 39A. I hope you've enjoyed that, and y'all take care. Buy some BaccOff. Yeah, we like that.